Welcome back, guys. Welcome back to the One Man Show. I'm the man.
And I'm the one and only.
The one and only, multi-time, multi-belt winner, belt wearer, people knockout artist, boxer.
I'm the people's champion.
Whatever he says he is. So welcome to the show. And today we have none other than...
Yo guys, Radeem Rahman.
Cool. Radeem Rahman is one of Singapore's pioneer mixed martial artists, MMA fighter. Welcome to the show, Radeem.
Hey man, it's an honor and grateful, to be here with you guys, sitting down and in this show.
Yes, to be on the number one fight podcast in Singapore because we are the only fight podcast. Before we start off, I just want to say thank you to all the fans because we've hit like 1K listeners.
Wow.
That's cool, man.
We've been doing this for a hot minute. Thanks for listening. I hope you guys keep on listening, not to just listen to one talk crap or me, but I hope you guys are getting out of this. Get something out of this. Remember, the whole point of this is to bring the fight community together because there's enough bullshit going around. So we are so small, we can't be fighting each other. We should just be together and unite. Right, Juan?
I guess so. I will try.
Okay, he will try. That's good enough.
But some people just deserve smack in the face though.
Okay, let's carry on. That's a good start. Radeem, what's up, man? How are you? Your last fight did not go as planned.
Yeah.
This is the thing that bugs me a lot, right? People will interview you. People will ask you so many questions before your fight. But
yes,
if you lose and after your fight, nobody will ask you anything. So don't worry, we're here now. We're going to ask you, how you feeling, my man?
After my fight, if you're asking me after my fight, man, that week, I would say depressed. I would say sad, disappointed. But the more I'm sad, the more I'm depressed, I keep eating and I start balloon, like puff. And the sad part is, then every time like I sit down and I think like, man, shit, what should I just sit down and be sad for the whole year, and I start thinking back like, okay, it's fine, in combat sports, it is what it is, on that day when I lost, I actually post on my social media, I lost, that's it, which is true, there's nothing to say, in this combat sport, it's a harsh sports, it's not like football where the more you train, the chances of you winning is really high. But in when we talk about MMA, boxing, Muay Thai, sometimes the more you train, result doesn't go your way. You can be the person, day and night training in the gym, and then you're fighting against someone maybe train only 2 sessions or 1 session a day, but then you lose.
Yeah. Some people are just as gifted as him. Like him, never train at all, so still so good.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Good at what though?
From the back, and we saw the long video on Instagram.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was sad. I think were you crying because you were having your sunglasses?
Okay. When I wear that shades, right, it's because I got a lot of bruises.
Okay.
So usually I have these shades on. If something happens to my face, I will wear it. Even in any like, if Muay Thai bout or boxing bout, I always bring the shades
on standby.
Yes, on standby.
One lesson learned. You
because
should.
I don't get hurt, man. I don't bruise easily.
Because in Singapore, right? When the public says you get this, they first thing they will always say, "Wow, you fight outside, this typical. I don't know, the typical mindset. Yeah, people don't treat combat sports seriously. They say like, "Hey, you fight outside, why your face like this? Wow, who slapped you? Who punched you?" This kind of stuff. And that's why I start to having these shades, It's been a long time, so every time I will wear it, so it's not obvious, And when I give that video I post on myself, it's really an honest video of what I feel.
You took that at the void deck?
No. Okay. Somehow,
It looked like it. It looked like it.
Wow, that is like
somehow, I'm not the mic that sit down and void deck, sing song or
yeah, not like you, man. Not everyone's
Okay,
like you.
I don't know.
Dye hair.
I didn't choose the live. The live chose me. Bro. The mud live chose me.
So that video, right, is actually in hospital.
Wow.
I was waiting for my dad actually because my dad got this checkup because he have a stroke, no. So while waiting, and my mom says that it's going to take around 30 minutes. And then I go to the food court. Kutek Huat Hospital, there's a food court on top. And then I eat. After I eat, I say like, wow, this is going to take long. Then I see nobody, Then I'm like, okay, why not?
Cari Chan.
Yeah, cari Chan, no? Why not? I just record my true feelings, Yeah, so that's where I start, to make the video.
I think that's great. I mean, it's not a lot of people are. Firstly, not a lot of people are brave enough to tell others how they feel. Fighter, non-fighter, whatever in life, right?
Yeah.
But I think also because of fighters. From my understanding, from my interaction with fighters, or just athletes are very prideful people. One of the things that make athletes, and they are better than others, is because they take pride in what they do. They take pride in the sports that they do. They dedicate their whole life, a huge chunk of their life, and also a lot of athletes, especially fighters, have very big egos. Right?
This is true, man.
That's a part of the thing that makes you want to fight in the first place, because you have this ego. You want to prove something. You want to prove to someone something. That's always the fuel to motivate a lot of people. But then after they lose, some of these people will just hide in the shell, because they've said a lot. They've said a lot of shit beforehand, and not only say shit about their opponents, but sometimes you need to say shit to yourself to motivate yourself. Sometimes you have to say that.
Correct. Channel that anger.
Yeah, like fuck it, I'm the man, man. I'm the champ. You know, like some people just do that, and when they fail, they fall down and they don't dare to admit that they fail. That they fail.
I guess so. But from this, I 100% agree. But to a normal people, they don't understand what a fighter goes through. When you talk all this kind of smack talk or confidence talk, because you want to psych yourself up, but somehow they assume that
you're arrogant.
Yes, but this is very sad, because you know why? Instead of assuming, right, people should actually ask why suddenly you decide to hype yourself up. But people in reality, only people who trains, who competes, actually understand this feeling. But people who don't, they like to assume things, and that's a sad thing, because during the fight week, I always talk to myself, keep repeating like, I'm going to take him down, I'm going to choke him out, like rehearse what game plan I am going to do, Yeah, but unfortunately, I realized that not everyone walks through the same path as me. So people might think that, man, what's wrong with this guy? This guy suddenly so arrogant. So that's where I start to talk to people, to say that there's a difference between arrogant and confident.
But you didn't say that in the press, right? What you're going to do to the opponent and all that?
Yes,
because I think ONE FC goes in the direction of like humble fighters.
Yes,
people stick to their roots and all that.
To project a good image,
positive.
Yes, positive, and people to look up to.
Yes, so, heroes.
But this thing comes when.
Does that sell tickets though?
Well,
okay. We know like Dana White is always trying to avoid fights from happening on stage.
Okay,
but there are also fighters exposing stories like Dana White is like calling them personally, asking them to like push their opponents or say some shit.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm not in their position, but I guess that's just business,
Yeah, business. For UFC, you can see it's business. For one, to be honest, I don't know, because whether it's the tickets or because right now everyone can watch it for free, So I don't know like in terms of the revenue or how they goes.
I think from my understanding, mind you guys, I have a lot of experience as a journalist. I'm not just here sitting down because I can talk shit. But ONE Championship has always set themselves themselves aside as role models,
Yes.
as martial artists,
Mm.
and they don't promote all this negative talk, right?
Correct.
They want to project a clean image because they believe Chatri, the boss,
Yes.
believes that this is how a martial artist should carry themselves.
Yep.
So it's a lot of like old traditional values where you don't pick a fight with a martial artist,
Correct.
and a martial artist does not talk shit about another martial artist. All this talking shit and stuff like that is a very Western concept,
Yep.
Yeah.
right? It comes from that side of the world. But if you're gonna go down to really roots, Chinese martial arts, Malay martial arts, and all that, there's always a line. There's always something about respect. Even Muay Thai. That's why
Correct.
in Muay Thai you have to respect the ring. You have to do certain dances and stuff like that, right? It's because it's all based on respect. And I don't know if it sells tickets or not. But I know that is not the point. I think One Championship tries to portray their fighters as heroes because that is what the region needs.
Really?
Yeah, that's what. That might not be what people. This is my opinion. That might not be what people in Singapore need, right?
Yeah.
But if you look at countries like Burma,
Yeah,
if you look at
Philippines
countries
and
like
stuff,
Cambodia, if you look at countries like maybe even the Philippines, right?
Yeah, so they get like the champions to go back to the village and stuff
Yeah,
like that, right?
I mean-
Eric Folayang does that.
because maybe Singapore is based on economics. That's why. But when I see in other countries, man, the support they have from their local people is amazing.
Mm.
Philippines. When you talk about Vietnam, we have in one they have Ong La, and he's amazing, man. The rapport he have, the support he have from the country.
Yeah.
And this is something that amazed me because in Singapore, right, when people when you say, I'm boxing, I'm Muay Thai, people look at you and people say, how long you going to do this?
Yeah, I think the passion is different. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
even if you're the best fighter in the world, but you're from Singapore, you won't get that love from Singaporeans.
Yes.
Yeah, and I also think that that's because of the way that One Championship promotes their fighters.
Mhm.
It gives them a very good repertoire.
Technically, in my opinion, I like the way one promotes the athlete. The reason why is because
Because you're signed to them.
no, because signed to them is one, but not about that. It's more because when you look at the Western, right, there's a lot of vulgarity, a lot of bad image portrayed,
Mm-hmm.
But of course, when we compare the Western, right, they are doing it for business, but at the same time, they are always have a lot of controversy with their personal life. Okay, this is one thing that if you see, you realize. But in one, I never see any athlete that involved in any personal life, like beating someone or anything. And when what Man say,
Man.
this when you see in this kind of countries like Philippines, all this, when a lot of kids actually look up to this athlete, and that's why if you portray a bad image, even though for you it's business, right, for them they take it seriously because they look up to you. And this one thing I learned through experience, when I compete in one at Vietnam, yes, when I go there, and no, it's not Vietnam. Sorry, Ong La is Myanmar. Yes, the Myanmar people that support. That's my first time when I go to Myanmar to compete. Everywhere, people can't speak English. Suddenly at airport, they just tell me, One Championship, Ong La, number one.
Wow.
Every single one, and everywhere is his poster. They really worship him, man. Like, so if he does portray a bad image, all these Myanmar kids or people, they will also follow his steps. So this a good thing for me, like about One Championship. But of course, there's no pay-per-view, so it means you can't sell fight, you can't earn more. Okay.
So if you talk trash, you think you're gonna get a phone call from Chatri to dismiss you from the promotion?
I believe, I believe that if I trash talk, definitely I'm going to get a warning. So if you realize, right?
But it also mean that you cannot be yourself, right?
Yeah. So basically, people have a fake personality. Maybe I would say that. For me, my personality is I'm originally like this because I don't believe in trash talk because if you're going to trash talk, you got to back it up, and this is not easy in MMA.
Yeah, you better listen one. You should take notes.
Yeah, don't talk trash, man. I just talk facts.
You better take notes.
I just talk facts.
That's why I always like to say that I will do my best. I will do my best because you have the confidence, but sometimes when you want to express your feeling, people might take it as arrogant.
Yes.
And then you feel like, oh, I can't talk to anyone. The only person that understands is my corner man, because he's seen how much work that I put in.
Yeah, but then like that, if you lose, then they will say that he doesn't sound confident anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it goes, at the end of the day, I don't think it's about I don't think it's about doing it for somebody else. I think you just have to do it for yourself.
And I would say that when you go into combat sports, right? There's always a hatred from people. I don't know why. When I'm young, when I read negative comment, right? I always talk to the person, because maybe the person don't know me well, or maybe I don't know him. Maybe it's good to find out more. But as I matured, I aged, I realized that all this criticism, man, sometimes I just want to, I laugh at them.
You don't want to punch him in the face?
I feel like punching, but what it says, like when you punch the guy can twist a word saying, man, he's a professional athlete and he attacks me.
Yeah.
These people are sore loser, I feel. Like, I don't know, man. To me, when people criticize, I take it as motivation. But when they start talking more, it starts to get, I don't know whether I want to feel angry or I want to laugh off. I get this a lot, and I believe the professional athlete he will get it. One probably get it too.
No, everybody loves me.
No, nobody. Dude.
Everybody loves me, bro.
And it's like, it's funny, how we stay in Singapore. It's so small. Everyone is here, but then somehow, like, maybe it's our culture, From young, people always compare school result.
Yeah.
So now they start comparing, Hey, I think this guy not good, man. That guy is better. And then suddenly you go to the other guy, you say this and that. So it's kind of funny instead of working together, right?
Yeah, but as long as they say I'm better, I don't mind though.
What? This is not about you.
I know. I just want to say something.
And not everybody likes you. I know personally a lot of people who don't like you.
They don't like me,
actually,
but they love
just
me.
one lah. They just one.
People always have hatred, like.
What's the worst thing that they've said to you since the last fight? Okay, from the last fight.
Man, the last fight.
What did they say?
The weirdest I ever received in my social media, man. This guy from Singapore, at first he said, don't mind. He tell me this, don't mind, but I'm going to tell you the truth. Then like,
don't mind.
Yeah.
Don't mind, bitch.
Yeah. So I was like,
at least he was polite.
I'm a very nice guy, And I say, yeah, what's up? From the last fight I watched you, you are too Muay Thai based, and it's hard for you to use Muay Thai in MMA. So I reply, okay, thank you. Just a simple way of respecting his opinion. Suddenly he start typing more and more, He start saying, I've been coaching for 11 years. I fought Muay Thai, I fought MMA, I fought boxing.
Oh.
I didn't reply anything, but he kept texting, Then suddenly he starts saying, don't get me wrong, I'm already retired. And then he starts saying to me, even your boxing fight, I know you win, but what I see is that it's not good. So I was like, okay. So I asked him, what's his record? MMA 1, 1 win, 1 loss, and then he say it's for fun. And then boxing amateur record is 2 win, 1 loss. Muay Thai record is weird because he was saying he have 12 win, 13 loss. And I asked him which promotion he fight. He never say anything. He just laugh. Then I say, oh, is it in Thailand? He just laugh. So I don't know if it's true or not, but that is definitely not a fake Instagram account.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, this is funny, you know. So in my
But do you already know where he coaches though? I mean, you don't have to
that's
say.
the thing.
Are you gonna
I
find
don't
him?
know.
Are you gonna find him? Spicy.
You know, I won't find him because he actually says a good word, which is retired. So I don't mind, you know. And like what I say to my my friends, my close friend, I tell them, man, you know, maybe they are higher level than me. So I sometimes I don't want to you know, like argue with these kind of people. I would just tell them, okay, man, good suggestion, good feedback. Man, thank you so much. You are the best. That's all I say.
I think that's a very good way of handling it.
You know, part of me I feel angry. You know, like, crap. A guy. I don't know. 11 years of coaching. I don't know whether he coached properly or not. I don't know.
He coached under
him
the
at
block
all.
void deck.
I don't know, man. There's now. You know, now everyone can hold pets. You know.
Yeah.
This is a fact, right, Ridhwan? We seen a lot. Everyone can hold pets, you know. And the funny part is that a lot of these martial art coaches, they assume that as long my client sweat means it's working. Okay, this is something that sometimes I wish to touch on to all Singaporeans. You know, about the key word is responsibility. Why I say this keyword, you know? Let me give an example. I mean, probably for you, you've seen in the gym, you've seen a lot around you. When I give a easier example of a fighter first before I move on to the coach. A fighter, right? When you know you have a fight, you have a fight, and then you got your personal problems with you. You know, and then you think back like, oh man, if I keep following my personal problem, I won't train, you know, but I have a fight. So it's my responsibility to come to the gym to train, you know. That's as a fighter, you know. Whether you are fighting amateur, you are fighting professional, you know, it's a responsibility for you. If you have a fight, you got a personal problem, you got a personal issue, you need to have time management. Whatever it is, you need to drop to the gym. Because why? At the end of the day, you are inside that ring or cage, you are going to perform. You know, it reflects bad on you, and at the same time, your coach going to get the criticism. What is this coach doing? You know? Okay, so that's for fighters. But for coaches, you know, I think in Singapore, most of the coaches, I would say most, minority, the experienced one, or people that goes through this path, they know about responsibility, you know. When we talk about coaches' responsibility, some of the coaches or most of the coaches in Singapore, when they have a personal issues facing, right, they always would tell the fighters like, hey, you know, I can't make it. Why not you just train with the backs? Or why not you just...
Really, this happens?
I've seen a lot. And why not we fix another day? So when you are going to train 6 days a week, it becomes 3-4 days a week, you know, because the coach have issues. The coach have to solve his personal problem, you know. Maybe the personal problem is huge. And when we talk about responsibility, this is what it is, you know, like you got to know, hey, I'm going to corner this guy, you know, this guy is going to compete. I can't leave him alone. I can't leave him to train alone, you know, because I don't know if he does the right thing, or this is the first step of gaining respect from your fighters, you know. When the fighters see that a coach sacrifice his time, they will feel guilty, you know, of not coming. And as a coach, you know, it's a shit job, you know, I would say, because not only do we get recognized, but seeing your students halfway through going to other gyms to train.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, you feel sad, but at the same time, you don't have control over their life, because if they feel that they are better with this coach, you can't say anything, but you got to accept. You know, but that's why I say being a coach is really tough, because not only you have to sacrifice your time, you are spending a lot of time with the fighters in the gym, even in the gym, rather than your own family, you know.
Yeah, sometimes a lot of times you have to put your friends aside, or for your own family behind, and put the priorities of other fighters first. You are doing all that you can to make them achieve their goals, and once they are there, you might not even be in the picture. You know what I mean?
So have you ever had this kind of problem, man?
No, not really.
I mean,
I haven't developed like world class fighters yet. So
yeah, but we've seen your coach.
When I got left.
Yeah.
I mean, he feels like it's better for him. So, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, I don't see him just as a coach. I see him as a friend. I see him as a good friend. I saw him as a teacher. But I guess he didn't see me as a student.
So were you sad when you saw him fight last weekend?
I wasn't angry. I mean, I don't get happy just because somebody is unsuccessful.
Right. Were you supporting him though?
I wasn't watching the fight live.
Oh, really?
I wasn't watching the fight live.
Yeah, I realized that he fought your coach. Your ex-coach.
I mean, it is what it is. I mean, there are a lot of stories behind the scenes which I don't think people need to hear anyway. But
yeah, there's always this kind of drama.
I can just say the world is round. The world is round.
Oh,
yes.
Nice. You know science.
Yeah,
you know. Yeah, this is the kind of thing that bothers me, because you know, being a coach sometimes is sad, no, and that's why sometimes you don't even feel like you want to share the knowledge with the students, you know.
Right. Okay. This is where I come in. I think. First of all, I think you touched on a very good part about fighters' responsibilities and also coaches' responsibility.
Yeah.
There's always a financial aspect to it. You pay someone to coach, make sure that someone coaches, right?
Yes, that's right.
And then at the same time, if you're going to spend money and going to spend time as a fighter and you want to fight, if you're not going to show up for training, if you're going to bring personal problems, you're not going to be a fighter. You're not meant to be a fighter. You should just go home.
I guess so, to some extent.
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. There are good days, there are bad days. It's the same for everyone. Even everybody who works. Sometimes we don't want to go to work. Sometimes we want to go to work. But we need to go to work because we want to achieve something. We have responsibility, right? For people who go to work, their reward is to get paid at the end of every month. For fighters, your reward is to stand in that ring with your hands raised or with a knockout or with whatever. That's your adrenaline, right?
Yeah.
Also, but I don't agree that you should not feel like you want to give your... As a coach, I don't agree that you should keep things to yourself.
Yeah, which is true.
And at the same time, I also think that as a student, you shouldn't shortchange your coach. If you guys... I always think that the relationship between a coach and a fighter is like a boyfriend-girlfriend relationship.
No, it should be love, respect, and trust.
It shouldn't be friends with benefits, right? Yeah.
No, but you know, for people who pay, the corporate people, of course, that's because we are earning salaries from them, so that's different. But from fighters, usually we don't earn anything. To be honest with you, you know, when you coach fighters, most of the cornermen will be poor, you know, unless you fight in UFC, unless in maybe one, because they will give a certain percentage. But still, to get a certain percentage to last you for the whole year, if you are going to fight one time a year, even your cornerman will be poor, you know.
But in one FC, do the promotions pay the coaches or it comes from the athletes?
No, it comes from the athlete purse.
So it's kind of the same as boxing.
It depends how much the athletes want to give the coaches.
Yes, correct. So sometimes it's 10%, sometimes it's 5%.
Wow, mine is over the market rate.
Oh, okay. Yours is because probably you are... I don't know.
Yeah, because he think he friend.
No, but I give it willingly though. I wanted him to have a better life, so whatever.
This is a fact. Some part of me usually I'll do that, you know, because I feel that this guy have put his heart and soul training me. He wants the best for me, and he knows that that I've putting in a lot of hard work, but even the result doesn't go the way, things happens, and I don't want to, you cannot point fingers at your coach or anything. A lot of people say this, it's a team behind you. Yes, but when you go in that cage or ring, it's you alone, and when we talk about athlete life, it's not just about whether physically you are in shape, but it's also about mentally, You don't know what's your fighter going through until you actually spend time with them, sitting down, asking them, hey, is everything okay? Do you have any problem? Do you have any problem at home? Sometimes, fighters like to say, no, I'm good to go. But when they are alone, they're like, shit, man,
Yeah, I think good coaches are good teachers, and they will just know. I think when you have that open communication, even when your fighters keep secrets, like you say, boyfriend girlfriend relationship, I think to some extent, I think it's like that.
Like me and you, Awan.
No.
Wing.
We are also only steady only.
Yeah, we friends with benefit.
No benefit. Go prata also I pay.
Oh man, I miss eating prata, man. It's
you should be.
Hey, what's your weight now?
Now, after 1 week plus,
The fight was at?
The fight was at 66 kilo because it's a non-title fight.
Yeah, after that?
Yeah. So after the fight, I'm still light because I only gained after the fight. Okay, for one FC, right? One championship, not one FC, one championship. After the bout, straight away we have medical clearance, and then we are going to check our weight again.
Mm-hmm.
So that fight, I'm only 65.6.
Under.
I'm still under the fight weight. So for as of now, I'm so happy because I finally gained weight. I'm 67, 68.
Only?
Yes.
I thought you said you balloon.
Yeah. So this is how I balloon because...
Oh my god, that means I'm a fat balloon. I'm a hot air balloon.
So...
What do you eat at the hospital before recording that video?
No. When I'm recording that video, right, I'm still at 66.
What do you eat?
Rice. I eat nasi padang, man. I miss them a lot because in Phuket, man, you don't have this ayam masak merah or Bagadel.
Why Phuket though?
Bagadel he wants.
Why Phuket? You spend a lot of time in Phuket?
Are you training there now?
Yeah. When I have a camp, usually I move over there for a month or sometimes a month and a half. I go there because partly it's because the coaches there, and secondly there's a lot of fighters from different promotion. There's even UFC guys. There's even M1 from the Russian promotion and Cage Warrior in UK. So you're exposed to them. You make friends with them. You know how much you need to improve. And when you train with all these athletes, right? Fighters, to be honest, when they train with you, they are actually humble. No? We share knowledge, and then you start learning more.
Yeah, they make you level up.
Yes, correct. It's like playing game, you keep leveling up. And this is what I feel. And in Phuket, right, I don't diet, to be honest. Every time I fight, if I fight bantamweight in one championship is 65.8, but non-title it will be 66 kilogram. So I train, but I eat a lot. I'm walk at 64. So basically my weight sucks, because ever since one championship changed this no weight cutting, right? I mean, there are some fighters, maybe they feel like me. I'm in between, If I'm going to compete to bantam, right, I have to go through against people that maybe from 72 losing weight to 66, and this is a major disadvantage, when people say about skill will always beat size or technique will always beat size, I would say it's bullshit.
Yeah. Okay? A big guy with skills will always beat a smaller guy with skills.
Correct. Right. This is a fact, I'm not lying. If you take for example, grappling, we talk about grappling. A black belt goes against a black belt. How many times have we seen a smaller black belts actually win absolute division? Absolute division means open weight category.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, we have this in jiu-jitsu. Okay, so you are not just competing in your weight category. You can choose to compete in open division, meaning every weight is there.
So the lightest can be at what weight?
57 if I'm not wrong.
So
can
a 57 kg person can fight
ultra
100 plus.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous, man.
Wow.
Yeah, so when we talk about the belt level or the skill level, then weight is an issue.
Yeah,
To
of
be
course.
honest, weight is an
Yeah,
issue.
if you're a small guy with skills fighting a big guy with no skills, of course you have a chance to win. But if both have got high level skills, one is naturally bigger, one is just small, I think it's just a
Correct. So-
disadvantage.
I'm at a no man's land, no? I'm in between. So that's why I made up my mind, and this is where my motivation comes. I'm going to eat proper, but when I say proper, it means not eating diet food, you know, like
no bergedel.
still have bergedel, still have.
Only one.
No,
Only half.
So basically, I
Barely
will
teach weight
still eat maybe once a week.
Mm.
That one day is going to be my cheat day. Not cheat meal, cheat day. Okay? So why I'm doing that, sometimes it's good to have all this kind of unhealthy food in your body. Because I believe in this, you know. Let's say like you are going to diet the whole year. Okay, which some people really did. It's amazing, you know, how they do it. But you will always receive the same amount of carbs, same amount of protein, same amount of fats.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you train, you don't know whether you need more protein or more carbs. And this is where injury comes. you know?
Right.
Yeah, so sometimes it's good to eat chocolates, you know. Sometimes I love chocolates, man. You can ask anyone that's my friend. I can finish a Nutella tub in one go. I can finish like, you know, I buy a carton of this chocolate like Ferrero Rocher, you know, and I finish it in just 2 hours. So
I can beat you.
Wow, man,
At least you're a
this,
champion at something. Huh?
I really love, and I love McDonald's. I love KFC. I love Popeyes the best. The chicken is like I feel the chicken
Really?
is-
No,
No.
KFC, man.
No.
Come on.
Come on,
What?
KFC.
No?
KFC chicken
KFC
is like
sometimes,
rubber, man.
sometimes.
It's like rubber.
Texas chicken is
Yes,
nice.
Texas chicken is
no,
good.
Jollibee
Okay,
is
okay.
nice too.
I never tried that
Jollibee
before.
and Texas.
Arnold's.
Okay,
Arnold's
Arnold's,
also.
yes.
Arnold Malay one.
Arnold's, please get in touch with us and sponsor us. We'll
I
put
have
your
Arnold
chicken
once
right
once
here.
a week.
I agree, man. Arnold's, Popeyes, and Texas. The chicken I feel like is fresh and KFC. I don't know. KFC like
Yeah.
rubber, man.
Welcome to the number one fight podcast in Singapore, where we talk about fried chicken. Arnold's, call us.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
talk about fried chicken with a chicken.
Yeah. I love the mashed potatoes, man.
Yeah,
So-
Popeyes one is good.
You talk about injuries, right? I think one of the big things that has happened to you over the last few years is, of course, your knee injuries.
Yeah, man.
Now you've had your first fight in over a year. How's the knee doing?
Okay, the knee is good, but you know, I still need to do rehab. So basically, I spent.
What actually happened?
I tore both. Okay, both my knees actually. ACL is gone. My left knee, my LCL is also gone, and until now, my ACL is partial tear. So my right knee is okay, but my left knee, I always need to do rehab. When not rehab, probably I would say the right word is strengthening. Okay, because I need to keep working on the muscle, especially the hamstring. You know, because sometimes if for example, I just straight train boxing or I straight train MMA, wrestling, or whatever sports I do. You know, if I don't do a strengthening or I don't do a knee extension, usually the knee will buckle. Yeah, it's very weird. So sometimes you see me walking and then it's just buckle. Yeah.
Kaki longgar, bro.
Yeah.
Lutut longgar,
Lutut
bro.
longgar.
Yeah.
So
Tahu
did you have surgery or?
Yeah, this is the sad part. The left is affecting me badly. I'm a left-hander, you know. That's the sad part. I actually I do surgery, ACL and LCL, you know. And
You
then,
want money?
And then it's insurance covered, thank God. So and I have a very good doctor that treat me for both, and he's really a nice guy. He treats a lot of athlete. You know, shout out to you, Dr. Michael. Thank you so much. Yeah. And you know, after I recover, right? After 6 months, I start training back. And then my left knee, the one that I just did surgery, partial tear. But it's a lower grade. It's a lower grade. And then that's where my doctor advised me, don't do surgery because it's lower grade. All you need to do is strengthening. And that's what I've been doing up until now. But you know, people who does knee surgery, right? We tend to get tendinitis. I get that. So every now and then, if certain exercises I can do pistol squat, but I can't do on my left leg, because if I do, it start rubbing the joints, and then I need to get another injection on my knee. So every single time I need to jab my own platelets, you know.
Ooh, you do it yourself?
No. I went to a doctor, man. Not doing myself. I don't have the machine, myself, man.
Like, oh, you're good with needles.
Yeah, and so this is annoying. To be honest, it's annoying. But I'm really grateful for this fight because I'm fighting a heavier guy. I comes out. I don't get injured, and I don't want to think too much about losses, you know, because I treat each losses, right, as a motivation or a thing to prep me well, and it's very sad. Sometimes.
I think the win. Yes, it's a loss. It's a loss on your record, but I think it's a win that you actually came out without any injuries.
Yes, correct.
From what you told me just now, or what you told us just now, it seems like it was one injury after another, right?
Yes.
And it escalated.
Correct.
It escalated. There must have been a roller coaster of emotions for you, because just when you're about to recover, then you got something else, and then there was something else, right?
Yeah, man.
I mean, mentally, how were you? How were you after the surgery and after 6 months? Just when you get momentum again, you get injured. How were you mentally?
Sometimes I keep asking myself, why me, man? Why me? That's the question. Oh, why must it happen to me? Because, you know, going through all this ligament issue, right? It takes a long time to actually recover, very long time, and you need to do properly. If not, you will never get the right reaction from the knee, the strength again, and it's very sad. At one point of time, I was down. You know, I thought like I should just retire. You know, waste time, man, doing this. Tear knee, tear here, and then later already cannot walk. You know, I feel like, what the hell is this, man? And then suddenly I start watching Derrick Rose. If you know a basketballer, Derrick Rose, he's very famous.
Yes, Derrick Rose was a Chicago Bulls player. He was also an MVP, a regular season MVP. Very famous, but also had a lot of knee problems.
Yes. And I start watching and say like, wow, this guy, man, he never give up. You know? And then I start to look at GSP, the greatest of all time, you know, in MMA.
Georges St. Pierre.
Yeah.
Yes.
He tore his both ligament, you know, in both knee. And then there's Dominic Cruz, which I love watching this guy. This guy keep having injuries but keep bouncing back strong.
Yes, one of the greatest minds in MMA.
Yeah, and I love to hear him talking about the breakdowns and all this kind of stuff. So when I watch them, then like, why not give it a try, you know? And then at the same time I was teaching. So I was teaching corporate people, you know, not just fighters. So I have people from all walks of life. The old people, the young ones, and they look up to me. So I want to show them that, you know, even when you have this kind of injury, there's no excuse not to exercise, you know. When we talk, because to me, for people who don't compete, I want them to train a proper technique, because not only they keep fit, you know, but at the same time, they learn a proper technique. So if they travel or they train, definitely other gyms will ask them, you know how to punch, you know how to kick, where you train? You know, at least I know I'm teaching them a proper way, you know, proper technique. There are some gyms that teachers, I don't know what kind of style, and it's kind of, it reflects badly on all trainers. And in Singapore, it's like that. If a trainer that didn't know how to teach, they teach people wrongly, the public looks down on all trainer, you know, look downs at us. They feel that all the trainer is the same.
So you use motivation from other athletes, but you also use motivation from the people you were teaching to eventually get yourself out of that hole and
Correct.
I think that's the biggest win, man. I think you lost a fight, but I think there's a certain mental fortitude that you need to have to not give up.
And failure, I believe that failure is part of success, and at the same time failure also makes you mentally strong. You know, I every time when we talk about this, I recall when I'm young, when I'm 23, 24. You know, when you're young.
Yeah.
10 years ago.
23 plus 50.
when I'm young, when people talk negative or people say my skill set is crap, I easily affected, I feel like, shit, am I this bad? Like, how come even people that didn't know me talk about this? Man, am I this crap? But now, when people talk, I would just say, okay, thank you.
Yeah, at least they're watching.
It's I think it's mental fortitude and maturity. I think you take that. How about you? Do you have you ever recovered from a major injury before? Have you ever had a major injury before?
I think the worst was no muscle test or whatever. I think regular aches and sharp pains here and there.
You're getting old.
Yeah, I think so. I don't really think much of it, but I think the worst was the bruised knuckle. That was the worst one.
Oh yeah, this was after which fight? Which was
after the loss to Ambunda. I had a fight in Philippines. I thought I broke that knuckle or something. Then it got bruised, and then it continued till the next fight. And then it got bruised again. But I wasn't really going through rehab or went to the doctor for it. I was just training through it. It wasn't really the best.
The pain,
it wasn't really the best technique. Don't do that. I'm just an idiot like that.
Because he's the chosen one, so he's also an idiot when it comes to choosing things.
So, but then I guess
like that, man.
this is the mental toughness, man. I ain't no bitch.
Okay. Don't go all defensive.
Yeah. So I was just training through it, but I am very grateful that I am still blessed with all my limbs and I am not going through any tough.
Yeah.
Because I know some guys still young, just get into fighting, they injured quite bad, like detached retinas, torn
especially the spine,
dislocated shoulders. Yeah. Then Mike Tyson, I broke my back.
The slip disc, man.
The worst Tyson impression I've ever heard.
It's spinal.
Yeah, when you realize it's amazing, like what failure can actually teach you in life, and I remember, after I lost that fight, I went out, so I was trying to calm myself down. So I'm a Liverpool fan. I'm sorry. Are you guys Man U?
I should leave. No, I'm a Chelsea fan.
Oh, okay.
What? Chelsea?
He's a Newcastle fan, which is worse.
That was in primary school. Now I don't watch.
Okay, so
now they watch me.
I'm a Liverpool fan. They haven't lost.
Yeah.
And
at that time lah.
Yeah.
No, they just lost what?
Yeah, that's what I said at that time.
Yeah, so this is the story, After the fight, I'm sad, and the next day Liverpool are playing. So I'm like, okay, it's time to cheer me up. At least I look at my favorite team, maybe.
Oh my God, please don't tell me this is Watford.
Yeah. And then they lose. And
okay,
then
can read what?
I'm like,
not so bad. Same.
Okay, I lose, you also lose, can lah.
Oh my God. Then I feel sad. Man. Like, what the shit is happening? Then I'm like, oh my God, this is more sadness in me, And then I'm just sitting down and I'm like, shit, I'm not going to watch anymore. I'm just maybe look at the result.
It's that depressing.
Yeah, it's funny, but it's depressing Like at this stage, Liverpool lose when I lost my fight.
Yeah, obviously Jurgen Klopp didn't want you to feel left out. They wanted to cheer you up. So it's like, hey, Radeem lost, so guys, please.
And then, but actually a fighter path is very lonely. If I'm being very honest, you can have a team behind you. You can have your coach, you can have your friend. Your friend not talking to you, but at the end of the day, that circle, right? Maybe one or two is maybe your close friend. But even though they are your close friend, I don't know how to relate this, but it's a lonely path that you take where you walk by yourself. For example, for me, I have to go overseas to train. Everything is about me. I got to make new friends, adapt to the new system. it's very lonely. It's very sadness. It feels a lot of darkness, you know.
Do you feel the same way, one?
I don't know.
I know.
He probably understand.
I'm very popular. I got a lot of friends. What is this Radeem
I'm
talking
Mr.
about?
Global. I'm just superstar. Different.
No, I mean, if I was to chime in, right? Two things. One, a fighter chooses to be a fighter.
Yes,
No
of
one
course,
is
of
born
course.
and like somebody tell them, "Hey, you're gonna be a fighter."
Yeah, everyone got
those-
an option, no?
Those times are over. We are no longer in a period of war where we go to war with another
true.
country and stuff like that. Secondly, I also think that yes, the path of being a fighter is lonely sometimes. Definitely. You have to
Okay.
go through a lot of things alone. When you're in the ring, you're alone,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
But that's
definitely.
also something that shapes your mental fortitude, that makes you guys mentally stronger than the average people. But I also want to say that is also not a reason for all these keyboard warriors to come and attack you guys.
Yeah lah, you are one of the keyboard
Yes,
warriors.
I am.
bro.
I'm
You
saying
are
I'm learning,
an asshole.
lessons now. I'm like
so-
knowing how Radeem feels, and
but-
Radeem might actually punch me in the face one day.
No,
It's like,
no,
okay,
but-
I rather not.
But you know, a keyboard warrior, right? Sometimes their negativity helps you, you know.
Really? What?
Like some part of it channels you to prove them wrong. But the minute they start giving a long story, I don't know, a weird story, then you start feeling angry, you know. Especially when you start asking them what's your usually. Believe me, I don't know if you ever ask a keyboard warrior like,
No.
Don't layan lah, bro.
I don't waste time lah.
Waste
For me,
time only, don't
they are like advertisement. Not necessary, but okay lah. Enough for me to take a toilet break or something.
Right.
I think, and then yes, they can be motivation, but at the end of the day, I don't think for me, if you are motivated because somebody hates you and you want to prove them wrong, they will always find something to hate about you. Even if
Yes,
you win the
correct.
next one, even you become the world
Yes.
champion. It's
Yeah.
not about proving to them. I think it's about proving to you. I think the moment once you realize you can do that for yourself, I think you are free from all these invisible chains that they have of you.
Actually, I really don't know how to actually connect with the keyboard warrior, you know.
You
No,
don't
you
have
don't- I
to.
don't think
You
you have to,
You
yeah.
just need to disconnect.
yeah,
That's
you-
all.
I-
Just
I-
laugh it off.
Honestly, I don't
Or
even.
find fault with them.
I don't even-
that's what I do.
I don't even understand how people who are well recognized like you and one even have like time to go and read your comments.
Yeah, we cannot waste time and every single comment or find out what do you think, what's your record. I don't give a shit. Yeah,
actually-
because if I keep throwing stones at dogs, I will never reach the end path, right?
Wow,
Wow,
that's a
so
good one.
who you calling a dog, man?
A lot yeah,
But-
they are still barking so you cannot keep something barks. You just have to ignore I
But
mean,
actually,
it will never end. It will
I
never
agree
end.
with one, man. For this
I'm
thing-
telling you, if you are the next Singaporean champion, when you become the next Singaporean champion, these haters, they will either be your friend, they will try to be your best friend, or they will still find something to hate
Yeah.
you about.
I never seen a keyboard warrior that criticize you will ever speaks nice of you. Instead, even if you win, they always have something to say.
Hey, that's the culture,
Yeah,
man.
but
We
that's
all-
fun
No,
though.
but
Yeah.
but it's a culture in the combat sports. But I'm surprised if Singapore have this, you know.
I think they do. One gets it.
Yeah, just
and-
embrace
and,
it.
And actually, in Singapore, I don't know, man. Singaporeans love to complain, man.
Because they couldn't make their lives. I mean, not all, but those who
I
are
really don't
criticizing, they couldn't make their lives any more better.
Oh,
And when
thanks.
they see people doing what they wish they would be doing, I guess the only way for them to feel better is to put the person down.
Yeah.
I think you just go along with the one championship
Yeah.
style lah. Just be a hero lah. Don't care them lah.
Well, the thing is, he's already a hero, right?
Like,
just don't give a shit, man.
But not to the keyboard warriors there.
Yeah, but
doesn't
do
matter,
you
yeah.
need the keyboard
They
warriors?
are all only keyboard. There's nothing.
Okay, but I'm thinking very positive. Maybe they criticize you, they care for you.
yeah,
maybe,
sure,
maybe
no.
they care for you.
Just don't. Yeah, maybe, but just don't give a shit.
I think
Don't waste time.
people who care for you will not do it over social media.
Yeah.
Correct. Actually, they going to
They will
tell
just
you.
call you and say,
Yes.
Ridhwan, you are shit over a prata session.
Correct.
And then they will just
It's me.
Yeah, this boy. And you know, and I don't know if maybe I'm the only one that actually tries to compete, putting my name on the line, compete in grappling, compete in Muay Thai, compete in boxing, because I feel that I want to improve myself. Because I remember the first criticism that I get from a keyboard warrior, the first one, when I'm young, the guy said that Radeem is just striking. He don't have his ground. His ground is shit. So I start compete jiu-jitsu. I start winning a lot of gold medal, a lot. Until now, I'm addicted to grappling. And I'm purple now, and I do nogi. And then suddenly now people say, Radeem boxing is shit. He can only kick. He can only grapple. And then I compete boxing,
And of all the things that you compete in boxing, you went to look for this guy.
Yeah, because that's the thing.
Yeah, we never talked before that.
Yes, and
Actually, to be honest, when I see him outside your events, I also don't know how to react. I was just like,
I also nod my head.
Okay. So how did so FYI, Radeem also competes in boxing, and I think he linked up with one.
Yep.
How did that happen?
Okay, this is how it begins. At first, I go for hard sparring, a hard sparring at the ring. Yes, so they put me against Velven. So this is what happened, So I'm to my mentality, right? When I do a hard sparring, right? I do a hard sparring. For me, it's just having fun. But then when I see all these boxers doing hard sparring, trying to take their head off, I'm like, shit, are they really hard sparring or are they fighting, And then that's where I saw Ridhwan sitting down. Maybe his fighter is going also to the hard sparring.
I think so. Yeah.
Who's that?
So I nod.
Somebody.
I nod my head and he nod his head. Then we walk. So he stays there. I walk to where my friends is or my working colleague is. And then my working colleague, I believe, approached him actually.
Yeah.
Talk to him.
The guy is my primary school friend also.
Yes.
Okay.
So it's a small world. And then I was saying to him that when let me do this hard sparring first. I want to, because I'm the kind of person that I will learn through experience, So I step in with Velven, and it's horrible. You know why?
Who's horrible? Him or you?
It's me. Yeah. So because this is a boxing hard sparring, and I'm doing my MMA footwork. The minute I get punched, I feel like, shit this, man. I'm going to shoot, take down, and I'm going to draw and power. Then I realized, no, I need to learn. So that's where I realized, okay, I need to learn boxing. And after this hard sparring session is done, even I know Velven because we used to train at Evolve. He used to be a student there when he was a kid. He was a chubby kid.
Yeah.
Yes, and now he's all muscle and lean. And he loved boxing so much. So we were talking before hard sparring, why need to go crazy? Why need to go? Because there's no win or lose. Even if he knocked me out, I knock him out, still both hands get raised, and he feel embarrassed, what the shit? Why we are killing each other off? So it's a hard sparring just to see how the skill set is. And from there, I learned that, okay, I need to learn boxing. I start focus a lot on punching. And the reason why I didn't throw kicks like for Muay Thai, right, is because of my knee, my partial tear. So I don't want to risk fighting Muay Thai. Why? Fighting Muay Thai in Singapore or in Thailand, you win. If I re-tear by my ACL again, I'm going to sit out for almost another year. And I never get any money. My insurance doesn't cover anymore. So now I'm very scared.
You just give up really, bro.
Yes. So that's why I decided to take up boxing. And that's where I actually text him.
Ooh.
Yeah.
He slide into your DMs.
Yeah, my number is in some toilet.
Sorry, that was me.
Maybe it's in the bus, in the backseat.
Secondary school friends.
For a good time.
So-
Over Ridhwan.
So yeah, we start talking, and even until now, even if I understand what a pro fighter goes through, but to be honest, we are not even really close. We still sometimes it feel awkward for me to talk to him, because I don't know, maybe he's a quiet guy. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe once you get close, then he's a chatty guy or talk crap.
He talks crap a lot.
For me, I'm quiet. I'm a quiet guy. But once I'm close to someone, then I start talking rubbish.
Open up a bit more.
Yeah. So that's why I feel a bit awkward to talk to him. even sometimes we talk English, you know, we don't talk Malay, but sometimes now we start sometimes to talk Malay.
What about you? What was your first impressions of watching Radeem box?
He suck.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's the truth. I think but he's got potential. He isn't as bad as I thought he would be because like usually when somebody goes to boxing,
You're
right?
talking as a coach now, right? Yeah.
No, just talking as a friend, man. When I first saw him, I was like, oh my god, this guy is crap, man. Then he's going against Velvin. But then the potential was there. It wasn't as horrible as it seems.
It's horrible, trust me, man.
But it wasn't as bad as I thought in my head. But it's still bad, but not as bad.
Okay.
So then when it came to me, the first thing I changed was his footwork. I think people don't understand that boxing still you need your legs, the distancing between you and your opponent. I think that's the most important thing. And you have to fight almost every single second of the fight.
And I realized, you know, boxing and MMA is fucking different. It's totally different. And this guy, until now, I still remember his word, no? What he tell me. He always say,
what did I say? I forget a lot of things.
If your jab doesn't touch, the rest of the punch is hopeless. Until now, I keep repeating in my mind, you know.
Wow, you should make a t-shirt, man.
And you know, it's funny. Even when I remember when I compete my first pro boxing debut, you know, I was really nervous because in my mind, I fought at KBX. I'm thinking like, shit, am I going to be horrible again, like the hard sparring? And then
because to be honest,
yes.
I think a lot of people were there to see how bad he sucked.
Yes.
Rather than to see him win, to be honest.
Correct.
Because I know people who are like, really man, this guy MMA already, want to do boxing. Then they also said he with me some more. So if he lose, it's like I suck. So I'm like, oh my god, this
It's
guy
bad
better
enough
win.
you have enough haters.
Yeah.
Combined with his haters.
But I was confident he will win lah.
Yeah.
But the thing is, he's fighting a Malaysian, and this Malaysian boy can fight. I mean, he fought before, and I've been in the Malaysian boxing scene, and they can fight. So, but I think our training wasn't that hard though. Our training was more like we were training smart. I was just doing things enough for us to be efficient to get the win.
Correct me, man, because I'm
So
sucked.
the conditioning all I just leave it to him. Basically, he's his own man. I mean, the victory belongs to him. Like 80% of it is his. I only contributed like 20% of
I
my
only
knowledge.
say that one line to him lah, huh?
He keep repeating in the
to
training.
know more, pay up.
And then you know what happened. So at that boxing, I couldn't see my opponent. And he was behind warming up like crazy. I'm like, shit, am I going to be bad again? Am I going to lose again? So I was very nervous. But then, you know, I feel as a fighter, we all will feel nervous. The minute you don't feel nervous, you are not fighting anymore.
Yeah,
Do you feel nervous?
Yeah, I feel nervous. I feel scared though.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel scared. You know, especially boxing. You know why I'm not so scared in MMA? Because MMA, you still can rest. You still can go ground. You still can defend your face. But boxing is a target, you know, upper body target. Sometimes your face, goodbye to your face. So I was at, then when I'm stepped in the ring, right? He was not there. He was not there in that ring. So, and then I close my eyes. I tell myself, Radeem, if your jab doesn't reach your opponent, everything is hopeless. So please jab. Then I keep reminding myself. So the minute the bell ring, I get 2 punches, okay? One at my face, one at my body. And then I'm like, shit, this is so painful, man. But I try to be cool, you know. I cannot. I try to be cool.
You had to cover it up.
Yeah, because when I punch, I shout like MMA, you know. When I punch, I like, ha, ha. And then this guy get me a good body shot. And then I'm like, ha. So people at that corner, right? People at that corner, they actually hear. They want to laugh, but they at the same time, they are nervous. Because my voice just gone. Then I'm like, shit, this is so painful. And then I move. And then I start to like, okay, keep myself calm. Start throwing the jab. And then I start to see where he's coming from. Then I start to understand. And that's why like, I wanted to learn more, you know. I feel that, you know, I know that every time I compete, whether in grappling, whether in boxing or Muay Thai, when people see my name, most of the haters want me to lose. Some people always doubt in my ability. They say, sure not, this guy can do Muay Thai. Then when I win, they say, wow, this guy only good at Muay Thai. You know? And then for 2 years, I remember, I'm the champion for grappling. 2 years, man, straight. And I hope that I shut them off. You know?
I think the biggest takeaway here from you two working together, right, is okay, you're a multi-time boxing champion, and you're a champion in the other areas of fighting, jiu-jitsu. You're one of the pioneers of MMA fighting in Singapore. But there was no ego in between the two of you when you actually went to him.
Correct.
And he actually impart knowledge to you without keeping anything back.
Because I feel I need to improve. You know, and seldom, you know, I say, you know, I find it funny, you know, like even when I have a medal or I have a Muay Thai belt, I don't like to talk about it, you know, because okay, this is how my upbringing is. My dad loved martial art. My dad loved boxing. My dad loved combat sports. So my dad always...
Your dad know me, right?
My dad knows you. He always say, hey, look, he once upon a time...
Thank you, G.
He come out on the newspaper in Victoria.
Yeah.
Yes, about boxing, you know. So my dad was telling me, Radeem, you know, every time you train or every time after fight, you know, you must always tell yourself there's always someone better than you. So that keeps me grounded, you know. So I never feel like I'm better than this guy. You know, I train with people that not even fighting, you know, but they are surprised with how I approach the training with them. Because I'm not like, hey, you know, I fight in a big promotion, I'm this. For me, that's wrong, man, like how I project. I'm originally like this, and I feel that, you know, some people out there, they are good, but they are not exposed. Or maybe they don't, fighting is not a career for them. They don't want. Because they feel like, why not I just, you know, work full-time, work part-time delivery or what, I can earn more. And I work delivery, man, before. When I tore my ligament, I walk limping and taking foods. And when people see me, are you Radeem? I say, yes, I am.
This is marketing, bro. This is marketing.
I actually work with Food Panda, man. And then this is funny. You know, like,
no shame in the game, bro.
A lot of the Food Panda riders, they know who I am, and I feel weird. Like, and then they tell me, bro, don't let this money deceive you, man. Because, you know, you earn a lot, and then you think back like, why should I fight, man? I should just forget fighting, take food, sell food, and I feel happy, you know. And then I realized this is not what I want to do. You know, I want to inspire people, you know, like whether the young kids, the one who wants to fight, the ones who train for fitness. Because Singaporeans always got a lot of reason. I want them to know that, first of all, to those watching this, martial art is not violence, okay? When you learn martial art, it doesn't mean you have to beat people up on the street. This is, I hate this reason, no? Especially parents that tell me, if I send my kid, later my kid beat the student all in the school. But no, they actually becomes controlled. They become more disciplined.
They only beat those who deserve to get beaten.
Like you.
They can defend the bully, you know, against the bully. Yeah. And kind of sad, no? Like to think how the society, how Singaporeans actually thinks about combat sports in Singapore.
I think at the end of the day, changing mindset is going to be a generation kind of thing. I think people of the older generation will have that kind of mindset. And maybe people, the newer generation might be more open to it. So it's a perception that is going to improve within time. But what I'm trying what I'm also trying to highlight here is that, look, there is no boundary between what you can learn and what you can teach, right? There's no... Radeem can go to Ridhwan, and one day if Ridhwan wants to try MMA, Ridhwan can go to Radeem.
Never.
Right?
But
I'm just saying, like this is an example of how the fight community can actually come together,
cross-training, you know,
to become better. Right? And two of the biggest names, probably a big name in MMA, a big name in boxing, and there's no air There's no arrogance.
And
There's no ego.
Partly, right? When that fight I lost, I feel proud of my teammate Tiffany. Yeah, Tiffany, thank you, man, for winning, and finally you get a title shot. I hope that belt will come to Singapore.
You're gonna get the rematch?
Yes, finally. That's what One Championship owner or Chatri announced, that the winner will get a title shot, and Tiffany gets it. I watched her train. She drilled a lot on the situation.
You train together, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And man, she's a tough girl, man. To be honest, she's tough. You are tough, man, Tiffany. I never seen any girl like this, man. Yeah, really. She's very tough, and she trains with guys, and she's still tough, man.
Yeah, I mean, congrats. Of course, the other story was Tiffany won. Congrats to Tiffany, former guest on the podcast. Hopefully, we can get her back again.
Yeah, I think we will just cut out this part and make it a teaser just so that she will come back.
Yeah, and she's probably eating and getting fat.
Yeah,
I don't know. I'm sorry, Tiffany. I know you don't like the word.
I've seen her non-stop posting food pictures and stuff like that. Yeah. But Tiffany aside, what's next for you, Radeem?
Okay. Eventually, I still want to compete boxing. KBX is a wonderful event. Willip is a nice guy. And I really grateful and thankful for him for letting me fight in his event, and so I'm hoping to compete boxing. The reason why, the more I compete boxing, it improves my striking, my punches, and I can relate that to MMA, because in MMA it's about distance, it's about learning how to punch, about creating that distance, and that's what I feel. I'm gonna still compete BJJ, Jiu-Jitsu, compete boxing, compete MMA, but I'm not going to compete Muay Thai because of my knee.
How long more do you think you're still gonna compete?
Man,
you're what, 32 this year?
Yeah. So, give me like 4 more years max, because I don't want to. What my goal right now is that, of course, I have the Muay Thai belt. I have the grappling. Usually we get the black belt. That's my goal. And if I get a boxing belt, wow, that's good. But MMA belt, I know it won't, because MMA, I don't understand actually the game. That's what I always say in the video.
What? Yes. After 10 years, that's what you're saying?
There's no.
What do you have to do, or who do you have to win to be the best MMA Singaporean male fighter?
Man, I don't know, man. To be honest, I don't know, because MMA, there's no formula to winning. I have come to a conclusion that there's no formula, and it's a fact. So, because even if you see in the West or even in one, every time a fighter can be a huge favorite, but if their mind not in there, or they make just one slight mistake and it's done. But where you see boxing or Muay Thai, we need to have a strategy. We need to have a game plan of what to do next. If situation A doesn't work, situation B, C. But in MMA, right, your opponent might pull off a surprise. So it's very weird, and that's why it's tough, MMA. If you guys were to ask me, is boxing or MMA tough? I would say both, but boxing actually helps in your focus. For that 6 rounds or 12 rounds, you need to remain focused, in that ring. But for MMA, because the target is not just upper body, you can kick, you can shoot a takedown. You kind of your focus is not just like, oh, I always need to be my hands up, So sometimes I can let my guard down because I want to react to fake the guy thinking that I can hit him or I can shoot a takedown. There's many ways of in MMA, especially when we go against the cage work on the ground. I can hug the guy, relax, breathe first, and that's how I feel. But in boxing, right, you're constantly moving, throwing high volume, and if you get hurt, you still need to remain focused. And every time I see a boxer, man, their face, I think their skin already too thin, like the scar tissue or anything.
Have
like
you seen
that.
his nose?
Yeah, I know that's coming.
Yeah, so
But do we have an estimate when are you gonna step into the cage or the ring next?
I don't know
Is it
yet.
gonna happen this year, you think?
It should be. I still this year my plan is to compete 3 times in MMA and boxing, of course. In between, when I'm not scheduled for anything, I want to compete boxing. The reason why is that right now I already decided that I'm going to walk around 64 to 62 kg, because that's ideally I always walk around at 64 when I'm in Phuket. Okay, so maybe because Singapore food is too nice, that's why I have hard time dieting or eating proper. You know?
Shut up.
Look at this specimen over here.
All right, so we hear that you have future fight plans.
Yeah.
But I think before we wrap this up, I just want to say, from an outsider point of view, knowing your story, it's very inspirational. It's very inspirational how you got through your injuries and you got to where you are right now. I think that people don't see what goes on behind the scenes. That's what this podcast is about.
Yes, people don't see that.
That's why we wanted you to come in, actually, because we wanted people to see this side of how you handle a loss and how you handle those moments when, you know, the injuries kept on piling up. And I
Yes.
hope, well, from what you've told us so far, it seems that you're not taking the defeat that heavily, because I think there's a lot more wins than loss. The only thing you lost
Yeah.
was the fight. I think other than that, you won the fight against your injury.
Yeah.
You won the fight mentally to not quit. You won the economical fight where
Yes.
you left Food Panda to eventually fight again. And I think whatever it is that you do from now on, I think you've already won a lot of things.
This bout that I lost is really tough, to be honest. Imagine like both my parents in the hospital. I need to find my time to train. It's really tough, man. It's really tough, and I even have to fly off to Phuket and then leave my mom and dad behind, where my siblings take care of them, and I never seen them until I finally, like, even during the fight week. Imagine fight week, you are staying in the hotel, but I rushed to train and then I rushed to the hospital to actually look at them, you know. And is, you know, mentally, to be honest, right, it's hard to focus 100% on the fight, you know, because when something happens to your loved one, sometimes you just wish that this thing could happen after the fight, not in your fight camp. This is a fact. When fighters compete, right, in that fight camp, they want to be a clear mind, you know. But you know, things happens. I got to accept that, and people always see the result. They don't see your hard work. They don't see your sacrifices. They don't see your dedication, no. And this is a fact. It's sad to see that instead of people saying, it's okay, man, there's always a next time. But minority will say that. Majority will say, man, he's not good. He sucks, man. Shit, this guy is a waste of time. You know, and sometimes they even say, I can do better than this. You know?
I'm sure one have heard a few of those.
Yeah, plenty but they're nowhere else.
Plenty, yes.
They're not at my level so don't waste my time.
This is true. You know, I always relay that, you know. Like, sometimes I'm so pissed that I always say, man, these people, they are not at my level to even criticize what we are doing, you know. And they don't know what we went through. Shit, it's not, I don't think they can even eat clean for 1 week.
I can't.
Man, that's the toughest, you know.
Yeah, I think the most important thing for me is the people that don't like me, they cannot beat me, so it's okay.
Right.
That's all. I mean, that's my mindset. It's not arrogance. It just helps me move on a bit better. I just don't really care. I think my advice is just don't give a shit about them.
Actually,
You're not worth your time. Not worth your time. Not worth your feelings. Not worth your effort.
Stop looking at me like that as if I'm the one that's giving you shit.
You are the motivation behind all this hatred.
Oh, Ken, thanks.
So I understand what Ridhwan Ridhwan went through, man. I went through this, man, and it's a shit feeling, man.
Yeah, actually, I have fun doing it. I have fun reading hate messages. So if you have some more, please send them, because all my haters, some of them become my fans already. So
Oh yeah, I was on them.
so I need new haters now.
Right.
Yeah.
So I mean, thank you so much for coming down and telling us your
man.
side of the story, and like actually, it's really inspirational. I mean, we didn't touch on what happened to your parents because the news have already covered that.
Yeah.
I hope your parents are both feeling better.
Yeah.
We talked off air just now, and you said that recovery is going to take some time.
Yes,
But
of course.
hey, if there's anything that I see from our talk, you got your determination from your parents, and I'm pretty sure your parents are pretty determined also. So I wish you and your parents all the best.
Thanks.
And I hope that you continue fighting. I hope you continue inspiring. And yeah, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. Do you have anything to say to your fans or anything?
Yeah, man. Of course. To those, I don't know. I don't like to call it them fans. You know, to those that support my career. You know, I actually want to thank you guys, because every motivational message or text I receive on social media or through my phone, I just want you guys to know that I receive it, and I want to thank you for taking your time to actually motivate me, to tell me good things, that, you know, failure is just part of success, and, you know, all these things happens for a reason. And I don't dwell too much on the past. And also, I know Nutrify Meals, you guys are watching this podcast.
Really? Nutrify Meals are watching?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, they are part of my
Stand up for
sponsors.
food.
So Nutrify, you guys probably know that I'm going to be walking around at 64, 62.
You gotta know me also.
Also, we get really hungry when you do this podcast, so if you can send some meals over.
Yeah, would be nice.
And you know, I want to continue inspiring the younger generations through martial art. And to anyone who wants me to give a talk, if you guys are depressed, you know, I understand how depression affects you guys. You guys can just approach me. There's nothing wrong. And I just want to tell to people who support me that I'm not down, no, I'm out. For me, it's always about winning and learning. There's no losing in it, you know, and never give up, because one day you will get your hand raised. It's part and parcel of life, you know, whether in terms of sports, in terms of normal life. You know, there are good days, there are bad days, there are times that you go through shit, but as long you pick yourself up, stand up again, and then it's a brand new day. Every single day is a brand new day, you know. So positivity, ignore the negativity, ignore all the shits going on, and that's what I've learned. No, I've learned that meditate, think of positivity.
Brilliant, beautiful. And where can people find you online?
You know,
what's your social media?
Yeah, you can find me through my IG or my Facebook page, Radeem Rahman, okay? And you guys can text me over there. I will always reply to text, okay?
Even hate messages.
Yes. Even if it's hate messages, support, definitely I will reply to you guys. And those who message me hate messages or good messages, you guys know that I will always reply. So I'm a nice guy.
Just tell them to listen to this podcast too.
Yeah, that's why. And yeah, of course, they after this, you know, they probably will start listening to this podcast. And to all my training partners or my friends in US, if you guys are watching this, you probably understand what I'm trying to say about a fighter's path. You know, the feelings, the sadness of losing, the hard work, and the worst one is always the food. I feel that Singapore food is the best. So because too much goreng, man.
Well, you can enjoy all the food you want because you don't have any fights soon.
Yes.
But I know One, you have a fight coming up next.
Yep.
Where can we get tickets? What is it? Tell us all about it.
Okay, the fight's on June 14 at Zook. So I can
Zook,
find.
Zook, Zook,
So I can finally say
Zook.
I fought at the club. I fight at the club. And
You're
you
still
can get
going
tickets from me. It's $50 and $75. WhatsApp me at 8339-6945.
8339-6945.
And I will book tickets for you and you can collect them at the door.
And where can they follow you on social media?
You can follow me at tcw.legends. You can follow the gym, Legends Fight Sport. So we have offers going on. You can look for me. You want to do personal training. You want to get beat up. You want to send me a hit message. I will not reply. Yeah, so...
If you want to send a hit message, go to Radeem or the One Man Show.
Yes.
All right, cool. Thank you so much for listening. This is the One Man Show. We just reached over 1,000 listeners. Thank you so much for all your support. Remember, we're the #1 fight podcast in Singapore because we are the only one fight podcast in
And
Singapore.
because of that, we also need all of your support to listen, to click on the links, and to watch. Because it doesn't only help us, it supports our scene, it supports the fighters, and it supports a total positive experience for everybody, I think.
Yeah, okay. So thank you once again, Radeem, for
Hey
inspiring
man,
us.
Thank you, bro.
Thank you for having me here. It's great to talk to you guys. You know, all these stories, all these facts, and one thing I feel happy is that I'm not the only one that actually received hate messages.
Well, one thing is for sure, the One Man Show does not get hit messages, and we also have not gotten dick pics. So please get on it, guys.
Yes.
All right, so that's it. This is the One Man Show. We are out. What about you? What was your first impressions of watching Radeem box?
He suck.
Oh my god.